off the desk and into the booth, you have myself, Lazarus Teller, even joined by Elise Randolph for the final match of the day, Week 2, Alliance Tournament 16. We have Castabouts versus A Band Apart. Castabouts in the red, bringing the Vindicator, Leshak, Navy Brutix, Deimos, Rook, Pontifex, Retribution, Vexer, Thalia, Deacon, and they're all at 0. This is going to be amazing. What does A Band Apart have, Mr. Elise?
Not to be outdone, A Band Apart have taken a Balgorn, Vindicator, Leshak, also all at 0. As well as a Gnosis, Pontifex, Arbitrator, Vexer, Thalia, Deacon, Sunesis. So we've got logistics frigates and some of the hardest hitting battleships in the game, both sitting at 0. I'm half expecting someone to yell World Star in the background here. There's going to be so much fighting, so much damage early on.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to really have to look here because they both have the Castabouts has the 2 battleships, but the difference is, one, you have the Balgorn Vindicator on one side, so would you have the control, but the Vindicator, Leshak, Navy Brutix, Deimos are going to be pumping out so much DPS.
Yeah, so the Castabouts have a Rook sitting 20 kilometers away from the action, a little bit close. That's utterly terrifying. This Band Apart's Balgorn is going to be able to get newts and webs on it basically perfectly straight off. And so I think this Rook is not going to be able to do absolutely anything all match. But on the same side, this Band Apart Arbitrator, it's got the tracking disruption. But what are you going to do? The Vindicator's already sitting on every aspect of your team that you care about right now. So both ECM and E-War Wings are going to be basically nullified. So it's just all damage all the time. These Logi frigates, I think they should just both say, you know what, we're not going to rep anything. Let's just see what happens.
Well, I mean, with the Logi frigates, you see in a lot of these setups, they rely on rep drones to kind of keep them alive. But you have a freaking Leshak sitting in the middle of the arena on top of all your other ships, so you're going to have smart bombs going all over the place. So both sides are going to be losing rep drones. I think this is just going to be a bloody fist fight. Like, that's all we're going to see at the start of this match as time runs out.
Yeah, let's see who goes for what. I think the Leshak you have to kill first on both sides. You see Castabouts trying to jam that Leshak early on, and they go for this Vindicator. That initial volley from the Castabout side just takes the shields straight off.
Didn't need any shield there. No. The Vindicator is... Go ahead.
It looks like Castabouts have now swapped over. They put some webs on this Leshak. They're firing... they're getting tracking disrupted. They actually have to pull a little bit of range because they are a little bit too close to one another. But Castabouts, the boys from Syndicate, going for this Vindicator, while the support wing is trying to take out this Deacon.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at how little damage is coming out across to the Vindicator with them being on top of each other. We are seeing some damage drones on the field, a lot of medium armor bots on the Vindicator for Castabouts. So, I mean, they need to get in there, use smart bombs, clear those rep drones if they want to actually put any damage onto the field.
Yeah, so the Vindicator for A Band Apart is melting really hard right now. It's in half armor. This Deacon and Thalia are trying to keep it repped up. Castabouts have done the right move here with their support wing. They've got a newt and a web onto one of the Deacons, trying to kind of marginalize one of the rep frigates to force A Band Apart into deciding, do they want to keep their Deacon alive with the Thalia, or do they want to keep the Vindicator alive? They're not going to be able to get full reps off as this Vindicator slips lower and lower as the Leshak from Castabout keeps ramping up its damage. Already, the Vindicator just actually MJD'd in structure. He survived. Castabouts just spent 2 minutes of the opening match firing onto a ship that they now can't catch. What a show. Oh my goodness. And now Castabouts have to go onto this Leshak.
Well, that is a huge amount of DPS that just jumped away from the fight. So that Vindicator is going to have to burn to the MJD beacon, try to get back into the fight, give the time for the Deacon and Thalia to get out to it and repair it. I mean... that gives this Vindicator, Leshak, Navy Brutix, and Deimos free reign to start taking down the Leshak as you see Tackle swap over to it. I mean, it's awesome that they saved it, but it's not any use to them outside of that range right now.
I mean, now the Castabouts Leshak has to ramp back up onto the Band Apart Leshak. Luckily, Castabouts still have a scram on one of their ships at least. I believe it's this Retribution that is scrambling the Leshak. Fool me once, shame on you, they say. Fool me twice, you ain't gonna fool me again. This Leshak is... oh my god, he's actually not scrammed anymore. He could potentially MJD. Maybe Castabouts are just holding it and just saying, yeah, we'll get it when you start MJDing. And there it goes. There goes the scram. Cycled back on. This Leshak from Band Apart is taking a lot of damage. Castabouts not taking much damage at all.
Yeah, you see they're all easily holding in shield HP. Like you see, all of them do have a sliver of shield left as the regen's coming in. The only damage that's probably coming in is from smart bombs or any sort of AoE effect there. the Leshak is in half armor. The Thalia and Deacon they don't have enough reps to survive Vindicator, Leshak, Navy Brutix, Deimos. That's just so much DPS on the field, and it applies so well to these lockdown targets. The Leshak is holding in half armor, so it'll be interesting to see if he's running an ancillary rep, and once that paste runs out, if he's just going to just die.
Yeah, so Tassin Thorn is coming back. Here's one of the things. He MJD'd out. The Castabouts kind of forgot about him. They didn't put any screen on him. And here he goes. He's run right on top of the Rook for the Castabout side. Rook does not want a Vindicator sitting on his face by any means. As this match goes longer, the Balgor Newts are going to start wearing down on this Castabout side. And that's what we've seen. This Rook has been kind of stationary because all of the Balgorn webs have been placed on him. And he's been new to dry. You see, he can't even run his jammers anymore. So this Rook is going to explode. A Band Apart is going to take the first blood. Thanks to that MJD trick that saved it. However, no, they don't take first blood. They lose their Leshak. Oh my God,
Leshak was
down
fully
for Band
ramped
Apart.
up as well, and you're starting to see the Rook immediately pull back armor. That full ramped or disintegrator, just so much DPS, and you can see that the reps just coming back. There's so many rep drones on the field still. It's wow, that's such a big kill to get before that Rook went down.
All right, Castabouts, they see Tassin Thorn's Vindicator, and they say, you know what? Let's do Vindicator 1v1 right here. The Castabouts Vindicator is now sitting on top of the Abandoned Parts Vindicator, trying to finish him off while the support wing from Castabouts is just getting this Arbitrator off the field. It's going to help their Leshak as the match goes longer and longer.
Yeah, you see the jams constantly being applied to the Balgorn. There's actually only jams on the field currently coming from the Rook looks to be going to the Balgorn, as you can see on the effects on your screens. So, I mean, they're doing as much as possible to keep those newts off the field from that Balgorn.
Yep, the boys from Syndicate Castabout, they're doing it. Vindicator down, Leshak down, a Band Apart have nothing left. They've got a Balgorn, which is mostly just control. Their Arbitrator is like dying slowly. Their Sunesis is dying slowly. This Castabout's support wing is just massacring the backlines. They've taken the main DPS damage dealers down. Oh my goodness, Castabouts are just running over Rick's Javix and the boys.
Yeah, this is quite a showing coming from Castabouts, a team or an alliance that was formed from the Galente rookie channel. So I mean that's like you have that pedigree coming into this alliance tournament, and they're just dominating a Band Apart, which was before this match thought to be a top tier team, or at least like top 10 team.
Yeah, they're a team that have put in a lot of practice in the Alliance tournament over the past few years, and they're very strong. Unfortunately, they haven't come across the strongest opponents the last 2 years, so it's really hard to get that practice in. But the same is true for Castabouts. Castabouts is a team that people thought were a joke 4 years ago, and here they are in the winners bracket. They've gone further. They've gone higher and better than Pandemic Legion right now with this win. So props to Castabouts. I can't believe their Rook lived. That Rook has been, super crucial. A Band Apart tried to neutralize it with the Balgorn and tried to get that Vindicator on top of it. But you know what? Castabouts don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you see the 3 battleship comp beating the 2 battleship comp, which I think before now the three battleships have won almost every single match that they faced a 2 battleship counterpart. So that's huge, just shifting the meta there. And I think the Rook compared to the Arbitrator definitely was a big difference there, because who cares about tracking disruption whenever you're at 0 with 90% webs on you?
Yeah, so this Balgorn isn't entirely newt fit. We've seen a lot of teams fall into that trap before. The Balgorn actually does have some guns fit, so that's actually pretty good. It still had a bit of damage there. And you know what? You probably feel really good. You've got a Vindicator and Leshak on their core at 0. But Castabouts had the exact same thing, but they added a Navy Brutix, which got untouched, a Demos, which got untouched, a Bexer, which was able to throw its drones out and then kite away and then go after the support wing. And then this Rook that just lived forever, probably got 1 or 2 jam cycles off, which is just enough. You're talking 20, 30 seconds of reprieve from the Castabout side. And oh my God, what a great showing from them. I really like the Abandoned Part move. They MJD'd their Vindicator away to safety, but you were absolutely right, Laz. It took him forever, it felt like, to get back in the battle.
Yeah, I mean, he saved himself, yes, but he just came back in, didn't really do anything, and just died as soon as he came back in. So it's like, yeah, it stopped the ramp up of the Leshak, but they just swapped to the Band Apart Leshak and took it down instead. I mean, they had so much DPS.
Yeah, you feel like if you were the band apart side and you say, okay, so their Leshak has to reset the ramp up. My Leshak has been ramping up this entire time. You feel pretty good, but then you die. So that's a pretty grim happenstance right there. Now Castabouts just cleaning up what remains. They probably got a little bit of hand shaking right now. Can't believe the amazing piloting that they've done right here. I am really impressed by this Castabout side. This is one of the coolest matches we've seen all day, and we saved the best for last.
Yeah, this definitely was a good match to close out the day on. And I mean, with the man apart going to be going down in this match, they're going to be going to the losers bracket, which means the losers bracket next week is going to be crazy. I mean, you have Pandemic Legion, you have a band apart, you have Initiative. I mean, the actual, well, actually, you saw Templars as well, already in the losers bracket. I mean, is this going to be a cutthroat losers bracket this year?
Yeah, I mean, you can only go Super Saiyan if you go down to the losers bracket, which is why PL went there early on. You know, they just gotta, you gotta get strong. You gotta go down and train. But Castabouts, Rix Javix, Balgorn finally drops down. A band apart, losing what remains of their ships. This arbitrator didn't really have that much of an impact. A band apart gambled that they were coming up against turret ships, and they gambled correctly. Unfortunately, Castabouts said, we're at 0. Who cares? You're at 0 too. This arbitrator did absolutely nothing. So, fully for a band apart, they did not expect this coming in, but really fantastic showing from Castabouts. Oh my.
Yeah, only one arbitrator left on the field for the band apart. 28 seconds left on the clock. They're going to quickly clean up the arbitrator, and once that's done, then band apart will be locked into their faith of the losers bracket, and that'll be the end of week 2 of the Alliance tournament.
Yep, that's it. Oh my goodness. What a fun match to end it with. For Lazarus Telraven, I am Elise Randolph, sending it back to the studio one last time. We will see you guys next week. Once again, Castabouts takes this 94-0. The last arbitrator gets to live to tell the tale of the massacre.